terms of two games that certainly lighted up the weekend, I've got to get your thoughts. Let's start with the biggie from
You're probably
Anfield.
happy the way you guys performed, didn't you?
I mean, honestly, that is as good of a performance. Not the result we wanted.
I think it's probably the best performance I've seen United in a long time.
More so,
in a long time.
More so, John, honestly, than the Emirates FA Cup win over City.
Yes, definitely.
Because at Anfield, there was actually control. We had big periods in the game where I actually felt we kept Liverpool at arm's length and had control of the game.
Yeah.
Now, you said on our last edition of Taking the Mikel, it went viral. And I think a lot of people would agree. I think Ruben hopefully will agree now. I know it's needs must, but Christian Eriksen and Casemiro as a midfield pairing.
It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely not. They need an Ugarte with one of them, or you need a Menu.
Yeah.
Those two together just does not work.
No, it doesn't.
It just doesn't.
No. I think they, if you ask them both, they will say it doesn't work.
Yeah, you're not helping us.
No,
you're not giving us a chance here. But Menu and Ugarte at Anfield.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
That is the hallmarks of a Ruben Amorim team. Tenacious. They covered so much ground.
Again, people, I know exactly. People keep talking about system. Sometimes, yes, system works. But sometimes it's how you apply yourself in the game. It's how you approach the game. It's how you get into the game. Sometimes these are the things that works. System might be out of the window when you get on the pitch. You don't know what you do. But it's about how you're willing to suffer, how you're willing to run for your opponent, how you're willing to run for your teammate. Those are the things that count when you go into these games. And I think United have been doing that, but I saw that yesterday. Everybody was running. And of course, the midfield, when you have legs in the midfield, it makes a massive difference. That's the best I've seen Ugarte play since joining the club.
No doubt.
Best I've seen Ugarte play. He was everywhere. And of course, Kobe Mino. I thought it was fantastic until he left the pitch. It was absolutely brilliant. Putting in tackles, running, getting forward. And of course, Bruno Fernandes as well.
Played very well.
Played really well. For a long time, he hasn't played this well. Played really well. And of course, stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes. Didn't get sent off.
That helps. That does help.
Which helped, as well. So for me, I thought this was the best I've seen United play. They were absolutely fantastic. Like I said the other day, they were awful to watch the other day. They were fantastic to watch yesterday. Yeah. They played really well. From the start of the game till the end of the game. They should have won the game. If McGuire had finished that chance, they would have, United would have...
I've got a couple of issues with that.
United would have won the game. No, but Ruben Amorim, we can see this is how he wants his team to play. And I can understand his frustration post-match. He said, I'm angry. I'm really angry because I can see that this team can perform this way. So what's happened against Nottingham Forest, against Bournemouth?
Dare I say, John, it kind of shows...
Mental. It's how you apply yourself sometimes.
It's small mentality.
It's the mental side of it.
And I've never played the game at the elite level. You know that.
I thought you said you did.
No, you know that. Christ, not even a basic level. But I know for a fact that you're cheating the fans when you raise your game for the one-offs. Liverpool away, it should be easy.
It should be easy.
To raise. You've been written off by all and sundry. You're coming to the home of your bitter rivals. Yeah, now you produce a performance. Yeah. But what do you do at home to, with the greatest of respects, to
the smaller teams? Exactly. Correct. How do you break them down? Because that's where... as well, the game is going to be more difficult because these teams are going to come, they're going to sit back, they're going to try to counterattack and catch you on a counter. So how do United cope with that? How do they break those smaller teams down? How do they get them to push out and play the kind of game they want to play? So for me, that is something that Ruben have to find a way to sort out, because like I said, yesterday was absolutely fantastic to watch United play. I was thinking, is this Manchester United? Yeah. Or am I watching something else? Everybody. McGuire had a brilliant game. Delete was fantastic.
Diallo in the tackle.
Diallo as well. Martinez was absolutely amazing. Onana as well was great in goal. So for me, everybody, Højlund was making runs behind. Yes, he had those chances. He would have scored as well if he had taken those chances. I think it was in the first half. Yeah, when he had those chances. Yeah, it was tight ankle. But Victor Osimhen would have finished that. No, but it was a brilliant game to watch. Both teams played really well. Liverpool as well. I thought first half they were a little bit They were not at it. The second half, they came out, they started to play much better. And of course, they made the game very entertaining. But I think at the end of the game, both teams would have been happy with the result.
Yeah, I just want to exonerate big Harry Maguire, who I actually thought had a decent game. He's come in across the piece.
A lot of criticism, isn't it?
A lot of criticism.
A lot of criticism. But fair play to Harry, though. He's managed this situation so well.
He has.
So well. He doesn't come out, doesn't speak. He gets on with the job. He trains well. Like, from what I've heard, he trains really well. He's a seasoned pro. He doesn't complain. And that's what I want to see when players do get criticized. We got criticized when we play. So many times I got criticized. And when people say this, I got criticized so many times.
You still do, John. You still do. On social media.
We all did when we played. We all did. But because we were man enough, we were strong enough to take it.
Yeah.
There was no social media when you could come out and say, listen, oh, you shut up. Oh, you do that. No, don't speak about me. No, there was nothing like that.
That's a great point.
We had to go back to training, go back home, sit with our family, find a way, next game, how do I perform better?
And that's where I'm totally with you. Stripped of the captaincy.
Yeah.
Tried to be sold to West Ham, and he's now been given a year's extension because Ruben sees something in Harry. He might not be the sexiest footballer. No. And I'm talking about, obviously, his ability. Not the way
he's
that
not
he
a
looks.
trend.
He's not. But what he is, he's obviously a top pro.
He's a top pro.
And you need those in a club, especially a club like Man United, where for too many years now, there have been players there that have been robbing a living. But I want to exonerate him from all blame. Joshua Zirkzee, who, bless his cotton socks, new to the English game, obviously coming off the back of being hooked after 32 minutes against Newcastle. Yeah. He's in on goal, John. Now,
confidence.
There's two schools of thoughts here.
It's just confidence.
You're a striker.
Yeah, you're a striker, yeah.
Does he go for it? He probably does do the right thing. He
does do the right thing, but when he thinks about it as well, but when he thinks about it, he's a striker. He's been brought to the football club
to score the goals.
To fucking score goals.
Yeah, that's true.
So why do you pass it to somebody who's been brought to the football club to defend?
Well, there is that.
You know what I mean?
But then, if you're going to pass it, John, pass it smoothly. Don't give Harry a bobbly thing. It was always going to go over the bar.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, I was up and then I was down.
Yeah, listen, Joshua, poor kid. Listen, he's a young player. He's a young player.
He's not it, for what it's worth. He's not it. He ain't. I mean, you battered Nicholas for as long. I'm going to batter Joshua. He ain't it. He ain't it for Man United. He'll be back. I will be staggered if come the end of the season, he's not back. I think Italian football
suits him.
Suits him. I think the Premier League is far too quick and far too unforgiving.
Far too quick. Exactly what we said last time. For the two midfield players, Casemiro and Erasing, it's far too quick. The tempo is too quick.
Yeah.
And if you're not at it, especially if you don't have the legs anymore, trust me, you get found out very, very easily. Teams are gonna find a way to play around you, and you become the guy who they just go around. And you don't want that. So for me, Joshua, I thought yesterday he should have gone on goal. Let's try to finish it. Even if you don't get it, even if you don't finish it, even if it doesn't go in the back of the net, yes, you did try. But to then pass it to Harry Maguire, did he do the right thing? Yes. Looking back at it, if you passing it to say Bruno Fernandes, then probably yes.
But even Bruno would have spinned over the bar with a bobbly pass.
No, a player with technique, even if he's bubbly, you know how to put your foot through it. If a ball is bouncing bubbly, would you have finished it, John? Top corner.
I would have hit the corner flag, in truth. So Harry did all right to keep it in the general direction of the goal. But hey, listen, a good point for Man United.
It was a good point,
Something to build on. It's a trip to the Emirates now.
Yes, good point for United. I think Ruben Amorim is going to be a happy man today, because he knows now his team can perform that way, and we can see what he's trying to do, the way he wants his team to perform. If United play like this week in, week out, they're gonna be absolutely a team to beat, because I thought from the start to the finish, they controlled the game. They were in control. They have the best chances. The two midfield players, Ugarte and Maino, and of course Bruno in that midfield, they were absolutely fantastic. Long time I've seen Bruno play this way. And of course, like I said, stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes, and which did help the team. Sometimes as a captain or a player, you keep getting sent off. It doesn't help the team, especially when you're the captain, because the team are looking up to you. You're the captain. You don't want to be getting sent off every weekend. So you need to be on the pitch. And he did that yesterday. Credit to Bruno. Absolutely fantastic game he had yesterday.
I'm asking you a bizarre question here, so I might need you to go into the recesses of your mind, or maybe it's on the tip of it. The worst game you've ever had at Chelsea. Do you remember a game where you were like, oh my God, I can't do anything right?
I had a few, didn't I?
Did you?
I had a couple, yeah.
Anyone that sticks out?
You're not going to play for a club like Chelsea for 11 years and not have
a bad game.
Yeah,
of course, but is there any game? I mean, I remember the sending off against Man United.
No, listen, I'll probably say my debut game.
Well, you
know, when he was a debut, you know.
Yeah, but you were a young man.
I was a young man, but still not. I got sent. I think I got sent off, didn't I?
Did you in your debut?
Yeah. I think it was Reading. I got sent off after 20 minutes or something like that.
Sean.
Yeah. Too stupid fouls.
You basically had a Jonathan Woodgate is what you had. You were sent off.
I was sent off. Too stupid, silly mistake. As a young boy, you know, just signing to the club, my debut, I was trying to impress, obviously, everybody. Trying to put in the tackles. Obviously, I know what the Premier League is like. You need to be tough. You need to put in the tackles, which is what I did. But listen, you need to be calculated when you do that. I wasn't. I was just jumping into tackles here and there, and before you know it,
boom!
I had to walk. Yeah,
past José.
Sent off. Yeah, walk past José, and I didn't come back into the team for about a month. You know, he had to punish me. You know, punish me really, really hard. Got sent to the academy to train with them a few times. Yeah. José was tough on me because he really believed that I believed in me and wanted me to grow up quickly. You know, wanted me to grow up quickly and say, listen, this is Chelsea Football Club. You're not in Lean Oslo anymore. This is Chelsea Football Club. This is where the men are. This is where men are. So you need to grow up quickly and fit in with those guys because those guys, they're going to eat you up if you don't. I want you to stay in this football club, so you need to grow up and you need to make sure you start performing. You need to get your acts right and you need to come into the team. So I did that pretty quickly. You know what I mean? I had to grow up very, very quickly. I had no one to help me. I was lived alone. My family was back in Nigeria and I had to do it by myself.
Did he ever come round, José, knock on the door and see how you were?
No, he had to send the big boys sometimes to come check up on me or to call me to know exactly what I'm doing. So obviously...
Who's the big boys?
The Didier, the Jeremy, the Makalele.
Oh, they would come round?
Yeah, I live next door to Makalele, so...
So he would knock on the door, get a call from José?
Sometimes, yeah. But I can also see what goes on in his house as well. The parties.
You don't tell José and I won't tell him.
I don't tell as well.
Love it. The reason I'm asking that, because... You know, bad performances are part and parcel of the game. Trent Alexander-Arnold, what I would like to say, had one at Anfield against United. Yeah. I mean, United, credit to Diego Dalot, credit to Ruben Amorim. Yeah. Tactics were clearly to exploit
They knew they had to exploit that and the right side. Yeah, they did. Listen, fantastic.
Going forward,
I don't need to talk about Trent. Everybody knows who Trent is. Fantastic player on the ball. What he gives you on the ball, you don't get that with too many right backs. Absolutely brilliant on the ball. But he's not a natural defender, isn't he? Listen, sometimes you can forgive him for not defending because of what he gives you with the ball. Going forward, how good he is on the ball, what he can give you on the ball, you know, his crosses, his passes. Absolutely fantastic player, but his defending is sometimes when you look at it, you're thinking, what are you doing, Trent? Yeah. If you can just put a little bit of fight, but he doesn't because he's not a natural defender. He struggles to adapt to that. He struggles to be able to find himself defending. And all throughout yesterday, Dalot was just going after him. He just couldn't handle it. But sometimes when I look at him, I'm like, listen, you can forgive him for that because he is absolutely fantastic, brilliant on the ball. Brilliant on the ball, going forward. The way he plays the game with so much ease, passes the ball. Passes that are going to be so difficult, he makes it look so easy. Easy. Did
you see the pass against West Ham?
Oh, my God. The way on the side.
Cut through it.
Any other player would try to shift the ball and try to cross. No. What does Trent do? He hit the ball with his infoot here, right in the middle of the ball here, spins it that way.
Yeah.
Only him can do that. Or a Beckham.
For anyone listening to this, I'm conscious that John's acting it out now, but you're right. It was from just the top of the foot to spin
top of the ball, hit the middle of the ball, but then with the follow through, spin the ball, cut it. And that's what he does. Fantastic, fantastic player. And sometimes I know Liverpool fans are going crazy about his defending, but the guy, what he gives you with the ball is listen, you can sometimes forgive him. And I know if he does stay at Liverpool or he goes to Real Madrid are getting a fantastic player on the ball. They need to find a way to make sure that they sort out the defending part of it. But on the ball, they're getting something special.
It was a bad day at the office for Trent, it's fair to say.
It was.
It was a bad day at the office yet again for a man that we talked about on the podcast last time out. Ange Ball, you were talking about, it needs to stay. Another defeat. Listen, injuries galore, a sickness bug as well.
Yeah.
Just destroying Ange Postecoglou's preparations ahead of that home game against Newcastle. He was talking about the fact that only 11 players he had available for training in the session before the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yet another home defeat. And a bit of controversy. You and I have already falling out today before we've done the podcast on this. So let's get to the two big kind of issues, if you will.
Two big decisions Sunday.
Lucas Bergvall, young Swede, who's got a bright future, by the way. Spurs beating Barcelona to his signature. I think there's a player there. A ball in midfield, tries to pass it out. It hits Joe Linton's arm, falls to Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes into Anthony Gordon. By the way, what a finish. From Gordon on his weaker left foot. Free kick, yes or no?
For me, definitely not a free kick, not a handball. I know you believe it's handball, but I definitely do not believe it was handball because for me, I think his hands wasn't a natural position and there was nothing he could do about it. Obviously, the ball came, he was trying to block the ball and the ball then hit him on his hand.
Yes,
so for me, his hands were in a natural position. So I wouldn't give that. I thought the referee did a brilliant job, was very strong, and in such a decisive decision, the referee had to make that decision by not giving that because any other referee would have just blown straight away. So it was a handball. But the referee continued play, and of course, it ended up in the back of the net. But what I will say, if he was Joe Linton that then scored, went on, and then scored, then you probably might have an argument and say, okay, yes, it was an handball and it did favor him. But
because
after the handball, there was a second phase of the game whereby Guimaraes then passed the ball to Gordon, who still had a lot to do to finish.
Oh, what a finish.
And what a finish it was. So for me, I wouldn't have given that. And I thought the referee was brilliant in not giving that. And Ange, of course, was upset about that. Ange was upset, but I don't think he was upset about the decision. I thought he was upset with the goalkeeper leading up to the goal because you've just scored a goal 46 seconds after scoring, after going 1-0 up. Goalkeeper, no pressure. Yes, you claim the ball. You have the ball in your hand. There was no pressure, nothing. Just let the team calm down a bit. Let everyone calm down, get into their position. Take a breath. No, straight away you had to throw the ball down to the defender. And then, of course, you already have Bruno Guimaraes, Isaac, Joe Linton, Gordon, who's already pressing. Yeah. So he invited that pressure. It was unnecessary pressure. But he's a young goalkeeper. I'm sure he will learn from it. So he's a very young goalkeeper. And I thought he played really, really well. But that was a mistake he made. Going down 1-0 up in such a short space of time, let the game calm down. Let the game settle. Calm the game down a bit. But of course, he didn't do that.
That will frustrate Ange because
that will frustrate. I think that was why he was upset. If you look at him on the touchline, he was really, really angry. And of course, after the game, he was still angry. But I am pretty sure if you ask him deep down, why were you upset?
He's angry at his players.
He's angry at the goalkeeper because he can't really lash out the goalkeeper. He's a young goalkeeper.
Yeah, making his debut.
He has to find somewhere else to put the blame on.
And the ball into Bergvall, if you look at it again, it's actually overhit a little bit. So the young midfielders kind of stretching.
I think it was from Papi Say,
Was it Papi? Papi Sarr into him.
Yeah.
And he's stretching a little bit. And then obviously, I still, for what it's worth, and no one listens to this podcast.
Listen, you believe it was handball. I don't believe it was handball.
I mean, take away Joe. I mean, it's going to its intended target.
But his hands was in natural position, though.
It's not like it's by his side.
It's a massive difference between Joe Linton's handball and Delit's handball yesterday. Delit's handball was not in a natural position.
No, it's hands.
You know what I mean? His hands was up there. Some people said it looks like he was playing handball.
It was like he was playing handball. But I just think
it's two different things.
If I was a Spurs fan, I'd be raging. And as I said to you earlier,
Yeah.
had the referee just blown the whistle, handball, and Spurs got the ball down and played again, we would never
We would
be
not
talking.
complain. No.
No one would complain.
No.
You know, John, and I thought that was a bit harsh.
Yeah.
I've got a batter. And Jack behind the camera was talking about Dominic Solanke scoring a great header.
It was a great header.
It was a great goal inside 4 minutes. Great cross from Pedro Porro. Wonderful header from Solanke. But I've got to batter Solanke here because, and you as a defensive midfielder.
I'll be raging.
And this is where Ange's
Mourinho is going to pull you out. I think Mourinho in that situation pulls players out. When you try to, you can ask Joe
No
Cole.
doubt.
Remember we had Joe Cole in the pod and he said the same thing. When you try to do flicks and all that, things that you're not used to, why are you trying to do flicks in your own half of the pitch?
With your back to goal. So for anyone that missed this, what a piece. It's a throw-in on the far side for Tottenham. Pedro Porro into the feet of Dominic Solanke, who's got a big arse. Right? And I say that in the sense that he needs to be backing in.
He needs to hold the ball, doesn't he?
Dominate the defender, take the ball in and go from there.
Yeah.
He tries to do a Cruyff turn.
He
tries to do a Cruyff turn, tucked in on the touchline, gives the ball away, boom, boom, boom. 3 passes later, Alexander-Isak is a little fortunate, but he gets the final touch and Newcastle lead.
He scored. He
You're
finished.
right.
The top striker. That's what you do.
José
it doesn't matter
would've-
how you scored. It's a goal. It counts.
You're absolutely right with José. José would have went.
José would have hooked him. Yeah, José would have pulled you out of the game because you don't do those flicks, especially in your own half.
No.
And when the game is still 1-1. And of course, you've not been winning games. The fans are angry. They're behind, they're at your backs. They're killing the team. You don't do those things. You have to make sure you get back to basics. Just do the basics things. Do the easy things, but do them well. But then I love Dominic Solanke. He's a fantastic, fantastic player. And I think he's going to become a fantastic player for Spurs. He's not having the greatest of season. Let's put it that way.
11 goals.
But I think from next season, I think he'll find it fit. He will settle down even more, and I think he will become a brilliant player for Spurs. But no, that was a very costly mistake he made there. Very, very costly mistake. And unlike him as well, because he's always very sure in those kind of situations. But to make that mistake in your own half, and of course, when you're playing against a Newcastle side, who they play with so much intensity going forward. They found that intensity again, and that was something that was missing last season.
Yeah.
Of course, because they were playing the Champions League, but now they're back at it. The intensity that they play with every time, Newcastle, it's absolutely fantastic. You lose that ball there, 1, 2, 3 passes, the ball goes wide, across. Of course, what does Isak do? Put the ball in the back of the net. That's what you do. Strikers, top strikers, they are clinical. You give them 1 or 2 chances. He didn't get that many chances though. He got that one. And what happened? Back of the net.
Yeah.
2-1, finish.
9-7 for Alexander-Isak.
Yeah.
Another great win for Newcastle. 6 wins on
They're
the bounce
flying.
in all competitions. They've got the EFL Cup in midweek. And yeah, I can't help but be buoyed and excited. I'm not a Newcastle fan, but I think they're onto something, John. The key there is with financial fair play, we all read the reports. The suggestion is they're going to have to sell one biggie, a Bruno Guimaraes to a City, an Alexander-Isak perhaps to an Arsenal, maybe even a Chelsea. One biggie's got to go there because I look at the squad, Livramento, I'll say on this pod, Lewis Hall will be Thomas Tuchel's left back at the FIFA World Cup in 2026. He's a player. And then Guimaraes, Joe Linton, Tonali, Isak, Gordon's an asset. They are a really
good team.
Premier
I think
team.
the thing that Eddie Howe's find is to be able to then play Tonali in that holding midfield. You have a Tonali, you have Guimaraes, and you have Joe Linton. The energy in that midfield, the power, the energy,
quality,
the physicality, the quality is absolutely fantastic in that Newcastle side. And of course, when you have a player like Gordon and Isak, the team is flying.
Yeah,
Newcastle.
they are.
And I really genuinely think you have Liverpool, Arsenal. I think they're going to be, this is the top 2. In Newcastle, the way they're going, the way they're playing, I think they will make the top 4. But that's what I'm saying. We, Chelsea, we need to make sure we find a way. We get back to winning ways. We need to get back to our winning ways because if we don't do that pretty quickly, we keep slipping down the table.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to. Listen, I've seen what the Conference League looks like. I don't want to be playing that next season. I don't want to be watching that next season. I want to watch us play in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I want to be in Bein Sport talking about us playing Champions League. I want to come on here after game and we talk about us playing the Champions League because that's where we belong. You know what I mean? And that's where we should be.
I, for one, do not want to be playing in the Europa Conference League.
No, we don't want to be
I'd
playing
rather
that.
Man United finish 10th than get into the Europa Conference League. It's not for me, for goodness sake. But, Newcastle, cracking win. They march on. We've got a real tussle for top 4. Other results, very quickly, we'll wrap things up. I think one of my big takeaways from the weekend as well, and I'm jumping a little bit to a conclusion from it, but Arsenal don't win this title. They don't win it, John. But Saka out till March. And then Odegaard left on the bench. They don't have, and it's kind of dawned on me, they don't have enough quality. When their key men are not there, I'm not trusting a Mourinho. I'm not trusting a Sterling. I'm not trusting a lot of the players that Arsenal are having to turn to when their main men aren't there. So I just think it is Liverpool's to lose.
It is Liverpool's to lose. We said that last week, didn't we? It is Liverpool to lose. I don't think Arsenal will win it. We've said it. If Mikel Arteta doesn't win the league next season, I think he should leave the football club. If he doesn't win the league next season, mate,
that'll be what, 7
that's
seasons?
That's going to be 7 seasons. 7 seasons. 7. And you've spent close to almost 800 million. 7 to 800 million. If you do not win, if he doesn't win the league next season, I don't think they're going to win the league this season. If he doesn't win the league next season, I think he should walk. I think he should walk. Because City are going to be back. We're going to get stronger. Liverpool are going to get stronger. United are going to get stronger. Newcastle will get stronger.
Forest.
So for me, the only time that Manchester City were struggling, this is when Arsenal should have been there. I keep saying it year in, year out. They bottle it. They will bottle it. That's Arsenal. It's a known fact. Sorry, Arsenal fans. It's a known fact. They will bottle it. Arsenal can't find a way to win the league. It's a mental side of the thing. I think mentally, obviously because they've been fighting with City for the past 3 years, and I think that has weighed them down so much because they haven't been able to get over the line. They can't sustain that pressure. We can see that this year. They can't sustain that pressure. And when you have your best player now who's going to be out until March.
We're expecting
something like
late February, March.
That's a worry. And Odegaard, yes, he's a fantastic player, but when he doesn't have a Saka, it's still not the same because they both combine really well on that right-hand side. They both combine really well with the 2v1 that they always create. It's absolutely fantastic. So when you have a player like Saka out that can get you goals, create chances, it's a worry for Mikel Arteta. He needs to find a way to win games. And again on the weekend, they drop points against Brighton. So for me, it's a worry. If he doesn't win the league next season, I think he should raise his hands and walk. That's what I believe. Because that's going to be his 7th season. And I think Arsenal fans will agree with me on that. Sometimes you can take a team to a level. If you feel you can't actually get them over the line, mate, walk.
He has been talking about the small, the details he called them.
Details. When I watch the Arsenal team, it's the mental side of it. The mental side of it, they don't have. When we were very successful at Chelsea Football Club, the mental side was there. When we were not playing well, when we had the tough times, we were very strong, very solid mentally. Very solid mentally. And that came from Mourinho, installing that into every single player. The mental side of it.
Was it last season where they got battered for celebrating a 0-0 draw at City as if they'd won? Yeah. And it was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
It's a 0-0 draw.
It's a 0-0 draw.
It's maybe you're right with the mentality.
It's a mental side of it. They can't find that thing that can get them over the line. And when you keep doing that year in, year out, it becomes mental. It is the mental side of things. They need to find a way to crack that mental side of that open, get it so that they can be able to get over the line. Until they do that, it doesn't matter what they do, Arsenal. I still look at them, I still feel they soft. You can still bully them sometimes, you know what I mean? Like Mourinho used to say, Joe, go out there and make sure you bully those kids. You can still go out there and bully them. Yes, you have the likes of Saliba, Declan, Gabriel, who acts tough. They act tough on the pitch. They show that they're tough on the pitch. But you can still bully them. You know what I mean? So Arsenal have to find a way of winning games. And it's Liverpool's to lose.
Mikel Arteta to go next season if they don't win it. Right, I'm conscious of time, Johnny boy. One last final question to you. I didn't ask you this in our previous edition. It is 2025. Any New Year's resolutions? You promising to get fitter? Are you doing anything special this year, John?
Well, it's 2025. No, listen.
No.
Nothing
you still
really.
look a million pesetas. It's myself that needs to get to the gym a little. It is on the New Year's resolution list, but whether I do it or
as
not.
long as we keep bringing the best and we keep being honest in this podcast, that's what we are. From the very first day we started, our goal, our aim is to be truthful, honest, and say what has to be said. I've always said it. When there's something that has to be said, it doesn't matter if it's about Chelsea, I will always be the first to say it. Always be the first to say it. And I will continue to do that. And let's hope we continue to bring the best guests in this podcast and we continue to grow.
We will do just that. It is 2025. Right. That is another edition of Taking the Mikel in the Can. This man's going to be back with his forthright views in a future edition. No doubt about that. And John's absolutely right. Some big names planned for 2025 on the Obi-Wan podcast, made possible by BetWinner. Thanks for now, guys.